When Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, military analysts across the world largely assumed the conflict would be decided within weeks, if not days. Moscow appeared poised to establish complete air dominance almost immediately, relying on its vast fleet of 1,500 combat aircraft, advanced electronic warfare systems, and one of the world's most formidable air defense networks. By contrast, Ukraine possessed fewer than 100 aging Soviet-era fighters and obsolete surface-to-air systems, leaving it seemingly hopelessly outmatched. Yet nearly 4 years later, Russia's failure to achieve air superiority has become one of the most striking and consequential surprises of the war. Instead of dominating the skies, Russia now faces an increasingly capable Ukrainian Air Force, UAF, that has turned limited resources into strategic advantages, particularly following the delivery of F-16 fighter jets from NATO allies. These aircraft, though older and initially dismissed as hand-me-downs, have become the centerpiece of Ukraine's evolving air campaign and have begun reshaping the dynamics of the entire conflict. The transformation began after years of persistent Ukrainian appeals for modern Western aircraft. When the first F-16s arrived in August 2024 from the Netherlands, Denmark, and Norway, skepticism abounded. The jets were older Block 10 and Block 15 variants, airframes that had logged thousands of flight hours and lacked the advanced radar and avionics found in newer models. Yet these aircraft, destined for scrap or museum display, were extensively upgraded before being transferred. Engineers and defense specialists modified them with mid-life update packages, equipping them with enhanced mission computers, advanced targeting pods, NATO standard communication systems, and compatibility with precision-guided munitions. The result was an aircraft far more capable than its original design suggested. This modernization, combined with the ingenuity and determination of Ukrainian pilots and engineers, helped turn what were once second-hand fighters into lethal multi-role combat platforms. The impact of these upgrades was soon evident. In December 2024, during one of Russia's largest aerial assaults involving nearly 200 drones and 94 cruise missiles, a single Ukrainian F-16 pilot accomplished a feat unprecedented in the 40-year history of the Fighting Falcon. Armed with just 4 air-to-air missiles, 2 medium-range and 2 short-range, the pilot intercepted and destroyed 6 Russian cruise missiles during a single combat sortie. After using all his missiles, he spotted another inbound target headed toward Kyiv. Running low on fuel and with no missiles left, he closed in and engaged the cruise missile with the aircraft's M61 Vulcan cannon, firing precision bursts at close range despite the enormous risk of debris and detonation. Post-flight analysis revealed that 2 missiles had been flying in a stacked vertical formation designed to fool radar, but the pilot destroyed both with a single gun run, an unprecedented real-world success that stunned even experienced NATO aviators. Ukraine's F-16 operations are remarkable, not only for their battlefield results, but also for how they've been sustained under relentless wartime conditions. The Ukrainian Air Force lacks the elaborate logistical and training infrastructure that Western air forces depend on, forcing pilots and crews to learn, adapt, and innovate in real time. With limited contractor support and minimal resources, they've effectively written their own operational playbook. Much of their approach aligns with the U.S. Air Force's Agile Combat Employment concept, which emphasizes mobility and dispersal to survive attacks on fixed bases. Ukrainian pilots have put this theory into practice under constant fire, operating from dispersed airfields, relocating frequently, and maintaining high sortie rates despite repeated Russian strikes. Their success has demonstrated the concept's real-world value far more convincingly than any NATO exercise. After nearly 4 years of sustained missile and drone bombardment, Ukraine has managed to keep all its major air bases functional, a testament to its adaptability and operational discipline. The effectiveness of the F-16 lies not just in their performance, but also in how they've been integrated into a broader network of Western systems. While the jets Ukraine received use the AN/APG-68 radar, an older but capable pulse Doppler system, they are outclassed by the sensors of Russia's advanced Su-35 fighters. To overcome this, Ukrainian strategists linked their aircraft with external radar systems provided by Swedish and NATO airborne early warning platforms. This networked system allows Ukrainian pilots to engage targets with AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles, capable of striking from up to 120 miles away, despite their own aircraft having more limited detection ranges. The approach combines each 120 miles away, despite their own aircraft having more limited detection ranges. The approach combines each component's strengths, giving Ukraine an asymmetric advantage without requiring the latest technology. Moreover, Ukraine's F-16s have been equipped with upgraded electronic warfare suites, including the AN/ALQ-162 jammer and AN/AAR-60 missile warning system, as well as the TERRA-PIDS Plus and ECIPS Plus pylon systems capable of deploying countermeasures more effectively. These modifications improve survivability against Russian radar-guided and infrared missiles, which are among the most dangerous threats in the air war. Ukrainian pilots, many of whom previously flew Soviet MiG-29s or Su-27s, have repeatedly emphasized the difference between those older platforms and the Western jets now at their disposal. One veteran pilot, known by his call sign AB, described how transitioning from Soviet analog systems to Western digital cockpits was transformative. Equipped with the Joint Helmet-Mounted Cueing System, JHMCS, advanced targeting pods, and NATO's Link 16 data network, pilots now have far greater situational awareness and coordination. These improvements enable precise strikes, real-time communication, and effective engagement of multiple targets, capabilities that Soviet-era aircraft could not provide. Although Ukraine's F-16s are not the newest variants, their avionics upgrades and Western weapons integration have made them vastly superior to the planes they replaced. Despite these gains, challenges remain. Russia's Su-35 fighters and advanced long-range missiles like the R-77 still pose a serious threat. The missiles carried by Ukrainian F-16s, typically AIM-9L/M Sidewinders and AIM-120C variants, have shorter ranges, forcing Ukrainian pilots to engage at closer distances and take on greater risks. Consequently, the UAF has prioritized using F-16s for defensive missions such as intercepting cruise missiles and drones rather than dogfighting Russian jets directly. Even so, the presence of F-16 has reshaped Russian tactics. Where Russian aircraft once operated freely near the front, they now maintain greater distance, relying more on standoff glide bombs rather than direct engagement. These glide bombs, often imprecise and susceptible to jamming, have reduced Russia's ability to deliver effective close air support, undermining its ground strategy. The growing threat posed by F-16 has forced Russia to adapt on multiple fronts. Its pilots are now more cautious. Its bombers operate from deeper within Russian airspace, and its air defense units must constantly reposition to counter potential Ukrainian strikes. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces have combined their limited fleet of Western jets with domestically produced long-range drones to target Russian radar sites, command posts, and logistical hubs. The result is an increasingly contested battle space in which Russia no longer enjoys the aerial dominance it once assumed. What was once considered an inevitable advantage has turned into a persistent vulnerability. The ongoing evolution of Ukraine's air power is closely tied to NATO's transition toward fifth-generation fighters. As countries such as the Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, and Belgium retire their F-16 fleets in favor of F-35 Lightning II aircraft, dozens of airframes and thousands of spare parts are becoming available for transfer to Ukraine. These surplus components, ranging from engines and pylons to avionics and support equipment, represent a logistical windfall for a nation fighting to sustain high-tempo air operations. Denmark, for instance, plans to retire all its F-16 by the end of 2025, while Belgium and the Netherlands are following similar timelines. Each phase of this transition expands Ukraine's access to both aircraft and essential maintenance materials. Even Turkey, the world's second-largest F-16 operator, has discussed the possibility of sending older models once it completes upgrades to its own fleet. Ukraine's ability to keep its F-16s flying also depends heavily on Western sustainment support. The country's legacy Soviet aircraft, MiG-29s, Su-24s, and Su-27s, are increasingly difficult to maintain due to a lack of compatible parts, most of which are produced in Russia. Consequently, Ukraine has been forced to cannibalize existing aircraft for spares or rely on limited domestic fixes. As these older fleets deteriorate, the importance of the F-16s grows. With consistent supply chains and ongoing NATO technical assistance, Ukraine's Western-built fighters could become its primary air defense and strike force within the next few years. At the operational level, Ukrainian F-16 squadrons have demonstrated extraordinary ingenuity. Without access to the kind of deep maintenance infrastructure or simulation training facilities that Western pilots take for granted, they have improvised solutions, refined tactics through live combat experience, and optimized the aircraft for missions previously thought impractical. Their success has impressed even seasoned American pilots who recognize that Ukraine is effectively conducting experiments in modern warfare under live conditions. The pilot's anonymity, maintained for security reasons, underscores the high stakes. Russia actively seeks to target Ukraine's most skilled aviators, knowing their loss would deal both a tactical and psychological blow. Still, Ukrainian pilots face formidable challenges in the electromagnetic spectrum. Russian electronic warfare systems are among the most advanced in the world, capable of jamming radar, communications, and GPS guidance. Every sortie becomes a battle not just of maneuvering and missile engagements, but also of electronic deception and countermeasures. Ukrainian pilots report constant jamming attempts, forcing them to rely on updated countermeasures and creative tactics to maintain effectiveness. Enhancing Ukraine's electronic warfare capabilities remains a top priority, as better jamming resistance and countermeasure systems could significantly increase survivability. Beyond the immediate tactical realm, the presence of F-16 has transformed the strategic calculus of the war. Before their arrival, Russian bombers launched cruise missiles from deep within Russian territory with near impunity. Now, with the F-16's expanded interception range and precision strike capabilities, even targets far from the front are vulnerable. The ability to conduct offensive missions, striking command centers, ammunition depots, and radar installations has given Ukraine a proactive role in the air domain rather than a purely defensive one. Moreover, the F-16's larger payload and compatibility with Western munitions such as JDAMS, HARMS, and paveways allow Ukraine to deliver far more powerful and accurate strikes than its older aircraft ever could. The ongoing transition of NATO air forces to the F-35 ensures that Ukraine will continue to benefit from a steady supply of F-16 and related components. Each additional aircraft enhances not only Ukraine's combat capability, but also its deterrence posture. The combination of F-16 operations, long-range drones, and effective dispersal tactics has already prevented Russia from regaining control of the skies. Where Russia once dictated the tempo of air warfare, it now reacts to Ukrainian initiatives. The skies above Ukraine have become a testing ground for the future of modern aerial combat, a place where Soviet-era doctrine meets Western innovation, where digital systems outthink analog tactics, and where pilot skill and adaptability can compensate for technological disparities. In this sense, Ukraine's F-16 pilots are not just defending their country's airspace. They are redefining the boundaries of air power itself, proving that ingenuity, courage, and collaboration can overcome even the most daunting odds.